You have voicemail. Press 0 to retrieve messages.
Nancy, hi. It's Franklin Rose. I'm calling because it's just... This theft is very bad news for the museum. You can't imagine the limb we went out on to acquire that Pakal carving. It's been one of the museum's main attractions. I don't want to take you away from your internship, but if you can do a little investigating, well, I think I speak for the whole board when I say we'd be very grateful. Give me a call when you have a chance. And Nancy, thanks.
To replay messages, press 0. Press 9 for an outside line.
I'd better check to see if I'm done with that.
You have no voicemail. Press 9 for an outside line. You have no voicemail.
Come in. Need something?
Have you seen Henrik? I found a piece of paper inside the Pakal display case. It had some glyphs on it and a print of a red hand. I'm hoping he can give me a translation.
What am I, fish food? Henrik's not the only one around here who can read a glyph, you know.
Okay, great. Did you happen to see the thief's message?
The police showed me the note. It said, "The magician suffers yellow death," whatever that means. Apparently, the thief just couldn't come up with the glyphs for "the curator suffers flaming purple disgrace."
I'm curious about the red handprint the thief left. Does it have any significance in Maya culture?
Afraid I can't help you there. What I want to know is what the hand was printed with. It's obviously not finger paint. Why don't you do a little analysis on it in the lab?
I haven't seen Henrik since the theft. Where do you think he could be?
Who knows?
Okay, I've got a graph of the chemical used for the handprint. Now I've got to match it up with a known substance. That's it! According to this chart, Hg stands for mercury.
Come in. Need something?
I've got work to do.
Carpe diem.
Archaeologists work in some of the most remote areas of the world.
Although the geographic range of Maya cities is well known,
The Maya used different methods to represent.
Maya scribes recorded the official.
In addition to adorning themselves,
The Maya ball game,
ritualized blood.
the 4 miniature gods. The date on this slab used.
Strange, supernatural. The Maya kings were often.
I am Lord Pakal. Lady Zach Cook ruled Palenque before her son. The Maya were pantheistic.
Ceramic bowls. Archaeologists work in some of the most remote areas of the world.
Although the geographic range of Maya cities is well known, the Maya were pantheistic, believing in many gods who ruled over different aspects of Maya life. Chak was the god of rain. Ishel, goddess of the moon, presided over childbirth. Lady Zach Cook ruled Palenque before her son ascended the throne in 615 CE. Maya tradition required that the kingship be handed down from father to son, but Lady Zach Cook broke this custom by establishing herself as a deity. This gave her the power to justify the new royal lineage. Because his mother had been deified, Pakal often referred to himself as the first true king.
The Maya kings were often in a protracted state of war with local. Strange, supernatural creatures, sometimes called monsters, played an. Strange, supernatural creatures, sometimes called monsters, played an important role in Maya. The Maya used different methods to.
Although the geographic range of Maya cities is well known, it is difficult to determine the range of Maya influence. Some experts believe the Maya may have traveled as far south as the Amazon and as far north as North America.
Archaeologists work in some of the most ceramic bowls, such as the strange supernatural creatures, sometimes called monsters, played an important role in Maya mythology. These monsters were often associated with the earth, caves, or mountains. The bicephalic monster, sometimes called the celestial or cosmic monster, may have represented the sunrise or a long journey.
Maya scribes recorded the official history of the kings and queens. Maya scribes recorded the official history of the kings and queens, but very little is known about daily life in the Maya world. Although there are thousands of inscriptions found on artifacts and architecture, there are only a handful of Maya books in existence today.
Strange supernatural. The Maya kings were often
The date on this slab, the four miniature gods,
ritualized.
the Maya ball game,
In addition to adorning,
Maya scribes,
the Maya used different methods to represent numbers. Here is an example of the numbers from 0 to 19, from top left to bottom right. Notice how some numbers are represented with bars and dots, and some are represented with pictures.
the date on this slab used the four miniature gods,
Ritualized blood.
the Maya ball game,
In addition to adorning themselves with jewelry and costumes, the Maya shaped their bodies to heighten their beauty. Beads were dangled in front of infants' faces to encourage crossed eyes, a trait considered attractive to the Maya. Ritualized blood.
The 4 miniature gods cling. The date on this slab uses the Tzolk'in, or divine calendar, made up of 20 weeks each with a named day and 13 weeks each with a numerical day. The 2 types of weeks progress independently of each other.
I'd better check to see if I'm done with that.
I am Lord Pakal, ruler of the mighty kingdom of Palenque. All those who come before me witness my power.
Lord Pakal is considered the most influential ruler of the Maya civilization. Cultural, scientific, and military achievement flourished under his reign. As with all Maya kings, very little is known about his personal life, since all written inscriptions dealt solely with public achievements such as wars, battles, coronations, births, marriages, and deaths.
Although the geographic range of Maya cities is well known, it is difficult to determine the range of Maya influence. Some experts believe the Maya may have traveled as far south as the Amazon and as far north as North America. Although the geographic range of Maya cities is well known, it is difficult to determine the range of Maya influence.
That looks right.
You have no voicemail. Press 9 for an outside line.
Henrik! Henrik!
Amnesia? Wow. Henrik must have taken a real nosedive off that pyramid.
Do you think he just fell, Nancy?
Or was he pushed?
Sounds like you need to find out about hospital visiting hours.
Yeah, but you'd better get the lowdown from Joanna first.
George is right. She is your supervisor, after all. Hello?
Hey, Bess, it's me, Nancy. What's new?
It's pouring rain. George and I are in the middle of a heated game of Go Fish, and I'm winning.
Don't believe a word she says, Nancy. Last hand, I made mincemeat out of her.
Anyway, we don't want to make you homesick. How's the internship going?
Everything was going great until someone broke into a display case and stole one of the museum's most valuable artifacts, a jade carving of King Pakal.
Who was King Pakal?
He's considered one of the great Maya rulers. He reigned at the height of the Maya civilization.
So what happened?
Well, apparently the civilization was never quite the same after he died.
No, silly, with the theft. What happened with the theft?
Who are your suspects?
Do you have any clues?
Easy, ladies. Let's just say that so far, I have more questions than I do answers. But don't worry, I'm on the case.
There goes your low-key internship.
Honestly, Nancy, it never will cease to amaze me how one girl can cross paths with so much trouble.
I don't know what to make of Alejandro Del Rio, the attaché to the Mexican consulate.
What's his connection to Beach Hill?
Right now, he's negotiating the monolith loan agreement between Mexico and the museum.
And what's your confusion? Something to do with dashing good looks, I hope.
Well, he is a little bit handsome, but he also seems very angry about all the Mexican antiquities his country has lost over the years.
How have they been lost?
They've been taken by explorers and archaeologists and smugglers. I guess the laws have only recently changed to protect Mexico's rights to its own antiquities.
Well, it sounds like he has a legitimate gripe.
Yes, but I got the feeling he would do just about anything to get an artifact returned to Mexico.
What do you mean, anything?
That's what I'm not sure of.
Well, let's hope he's just a big talker and not a bona fide vigilante.
Somehow, Joanna has gotten the museum into some financial hot water.
How'd she do that?
Yeah, and how hot's the water?
It's all very vague. I want to give her the benefit of the doubt. I mean, maybe she just overextended the budget a little in her effort to acquire the best artifacts for the museum, but
even if her intentions were good...
she may be feeling a little desperate to make some money back quickly.
Desperate enough to steal the Pakal carving, sell it on the black market, and collect the insurance on it too?
I know she loves the museum. Who knows what she'd do if she were afraid of losing her job.
She's a suspect.
Definitely a suspect.
I'll talk to you later, ladies.
We're rooting for ya.
Yeah, you're doing great.
Hello, Nancy.
Why did Mexico choose to lend the monolith to Beach Hill and not some other museum?
Johanna Riggs outbid everyone. I had no idea a small museum like Beach Hill could afford such an expensive arrangement.
Do you know much about Maya glyphs?
You've got me there. I know Spanish, English, Portuguese, and several indigenous languages, including Quiche and Nahuatl, but I have yet to learn the language of glyphs.
Have you heard? The Pakal carving was stolen from the museum.
Well, I heard the alarms going off, but it wasn't until Henry called me that I heard the news.
So you were in the museum at the time?
I was dropping off the monolith agreement for Joanna as I said I would.
Did you see anything suspicious?
I was running late. I just figured somebody tripped a wire and I kept going. Whew.
It's odd that I didn't see you.
I was there on business, Nancy, not for tea.
Don't you care about the disappearance of such a rare Maya artifact?
That artifact was lost to me as soon as it left Mexican soil. So my friend Pakal goes underground for a while until he is sold again. Suddenly, he turns up in Amsterdam or Hong Kong. Unless he is rightfully repatriated to Mexico, what's the difference?
Do you consider Henrik a conquistador, along with Joanna Riggs and Sinclair?
Henrik is a student of my culture and my heritage, not trying to buy and sell it. We don't agree on everything, especially not baseball, but I have nothing against him.
Have you heard? Henrik Vanderheun fell off the pyramid at the museum. He's in the hospital with a mysterious head injury.
That is terrible news. I hope it's not too serious.
I should get back to the museum.
Yes, you should.
It's a fiasco, just as I feared. Oh, I'm sick about the whole thing.
I see you've spoken with Joanna.
I was in the museum when it happened.
Have you spoken to the police?
I told them everything I know. I mean, I coughed up my brains right there on the table.
So, do you think this is linked to the thefts in Topeka and New Mexico?
That awful red hand was left on Prudence Rutherford's jewelry box in Topeka, and on the display case in the museum in New Mexico. What's the chance they're not connected?
Do you know Prudence Rutherford personally?
Oh, we saw each other at functions now and then. Poor Prudence. She adored that necklace.
What's the name of the museum in New Mexico?
The Chaco Canyon Cultural Center. They had a beautiful collection up there, worth a bundle, too. I appraised some pieces for them a few years back.
Why do you think the thief is leaving this red handprint?
To be a gruesome scoundrel?
Joanna says you performed an act of wizardry in helping Beach Hill acquire the Pakal carving.
Getting those provenance docs together was a pig and a half. Oh, they're on the up and up, I assure you. But to have been at the height of my career back before the crackdown, those were the days.
What crackdown?
Maybe sometime I'll tell you a sad story I call How Mexico Lost Its Sense of Humor. Not today, though, Nancy.
The Pakal thief's glyph message translates to, "The magician suffers yellow death." What in the world do you think that means?
You've got me there.
When you sell a piece of art, what kind of commission do you get?
Standard, 10%. It's no king's ransom, unless of course you sell something for $1 million. Too bad I'm not allowed to put that monolith on the market, huh?
Alejandro says you're unethical, a modern-day conquistador, that you're robbing Mexico of its cultural history.
And I say Alejandro is the real bully of the playground, a lunch money extortionist who loves nothing more than to see the other boys and girls go hungry.
There was an incident at the museum. Henrik is in the hospital with a head injury.
Poor Henrik. Another squabble between him and Joanna, perhaps? Oh, I'm kidding, but I do remember the time she threatened to push him in the pond. Temper, temper, I'm always telling her.
I'd better get going.
See you around.
First the Pakal carving is stolen, and now my star glyph man bumps his head and forgets his own name? What's next, Nancy? Del Rio pulls the plug on the monolith, the board clams up on my funding, my mother posts my old prom pictures on the internet.
We do seem to be on shaky footing, don't we?
What I need from you right now is action, not commentary, Nancy. Will you follow up with the hospital and see if there's anything we can do to get Henrik's marbles back?
I'll call right away.
You can also pick up Henrik's mail if he gets any. Keep the lab in order and just try to help me keep the entire museum from going up in smoke.
Apparently, a Topeka woman named Prudence Rutherford has recently been visited by a red-handed thief, too. Do you have any idea how I might get in touch with her?
Afraid I can't help you there.
I've got work to do.
Semper ubi sub ubi.
You have voicemail. Press 0 to retrieve messages.
This message is for Nancy Drew. Hi, Nancy. This is Nurse Bluefoot calling from Eleanor Roosevelt Memorial Hospital in regards to Henrik Vanderheun. I believe you're a colleague of his? Since Mr. Vanderheun was admitted, He has repeated your name several times in states of semi-consciousness. As we've been unable to contact any of his family members, we're hoping you might be willing to act as Henrik's support person as he begins the difficult process of restoring his memory. Please call me as soon as possible to discuss this. My direct line is 202-555-4000. Thank you.
To replay messages, press 0. Press 9 for an outside line.
This is Nurse Bluefoot.
Nurse Bluefoot, this is Nancy Drew. You left me a message regarding Henrik Vanderheun. How is he?
Nancy Drew? Oh, thank goodness. Oh, I'm so relieved. We've been unable to locate any family members, and we do like amnesia patients to have at least one personal support person when they begin reality orientation.
What's reality orientation?
Well, reality orientation is a kind of treatment that helps a patient get reacquainted with the facts and circumstances of his or her life. Henrik has not actually lost his memory. It's just that his brain is injured in such a way that he can't access the place where the memories are stored.
So, how does he regain access to the storage place?
First, we do repetitive memory exercises to help Henrik relearn the basic facts like his name and address, the name of his parakeet, if he has one, the date, and so on. Second, we try to stimulate Henrik's sensory memories in order to help trigger or find the way back to his cognitive memories.
What are sensory memories?
A sensory memory is like it sounds, something that is familiar, that you recognize by sight or touch, smell or sound or... Oh, what is that last one? Oh yes, taste. A cognitive memory is something that you know or remember intellectually. For example, how do you know the name of this planet? Somewhere along the way you learn that it's called Earth, and you just remember. But say you bump your head and forget the name of this planet. You don't know where in the solar system you're floating.
Yikes!
Exactly. But then I show you a picture of our marvelous blue and green globe. Suddenly you remember. That glorious sight is Earth. I live on the planet Earth. This is how a sensory memory can trigger a cognitive or intellectual one.
I still don't understand where I come in.
You can't help Henrik remember his childhood, but you can probably help him remember his work, and who knows where that will take him. All roads lead to Rome, as they say. One great tool is the Reality Orientation Board. This is a place to post information and pictures for the patient to look at over a period of time. You may want to bring in images or photos to place on the board. Things from the museum, perhaps.
I see. Well, I'll be happy to help in any way I can. When are visiting hours?
Visiting hours are 10 to 4 every day, if the patient is not engaged in treatment and if he seems stable.
Stable how?
Just remember, Henrik's brain has been knocked around like a peanut in its shell. He may have attention difficulties, headaches, anxiety. Sometimes he may seem giddy, too. We need to keep these conditions in check. Don't push him too hard, or he may have some kind of meltdown.
Thanks for the warning, Nurse Bluefoot.
Be well.
You have no voicemail. You have
Need something?
I've got work to do.
Go to it.
Boswell, Jackson, and Rose, how may I direct your call?
This is Nancy Drew, calling for Franklin Rose, please.
Just a minute, please.
Nancy, hello. Do you have any news?
I need to contact a woman named Prudence Rutherford. I noticed she's on the board of the Topeka Commission for the Arts and that they've donated money to Beach Hill. Any idea how I might track her down?
Well, you're in luck. It so happens that Prudence and I sat on the panel of judges for the Kansas Speak No Evil Mime competition for 3 years in a row, back when I lived in Wichita. How's that for a small world?
You judged a mime competition?
Indeed I did. I haven't talked to Prudence in about 10 years. But let's see if I still have her in this old dinosaur of a Rolodex. Ah, yes, here we go. Got a pen? It's area code 785-555-7279. What's this all about?
Miss Rutherford had a necklace with a Maya artifact stolen right out of her home. I'm trying to see if there's any connection between these robberies.
Ha! You're a real pro, Nancy. Say, why don't I call ahead and let Prudence know what's going on? That way I can say hello and she'll be expecting you.
Now I think you're reading my mind, Mr. Rose. Thanks.
Not a problem, dear.
You've reached the Chaco Canyon Cultural Center. The center is now closed. Regular hours are from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. 7 days a week, except on major national holidays, when we are closed.
You have reached the villa of Prudence Rutherford. As you may have heard, the sanctity of my home has recently been violated. If you've reached this recording, it means I've gone to my quiet place, so please don't leave a message. You are welcome to try back another time. If you are calling about the Corn Growers Ball, rest assured that the show will go on as scheduled on the 9th.
Boswell, Jackson, and Rose, how may I direct your call?
This is Nancy Drew, calling for Franklin Rose, please.
Just a minute, please.
Nancy, hello. Do you have any news?
The thief left a red handprint at the scene of the crime. According to Taylor Sinclair, the same print was left at a couple of other crime scenes recently. I'm trying to find out what the connection is between these thefts.
Oh, Nancy, you zero in on a case like a heat-seeking missile, don't you? I feel so much better knowing you're going to follow up on every lead. I'll help in any way I can.
Thanks, Mr. Rose.
That's what I'm here for.